is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, class swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. I know I sound weird still. I know. I get it. I think it's I don't know. I got to get some boosters on boosters, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll deal with it. Hopefully it gets a little better, but we got SPY that is gapping to all-time highs. So we're still continuing that run. We had a nice little pullback yesterday. Small pullback, nothing too crazy. And then yeah, we just started breaking out, gapping up again. We do have a little retest gap, but what's even better? What's even better? We got Albert in the house. Good morning to you. Good morning to Anna. Good morning to Andy, Frank, Jay, JT, Lauren, Lucian's in the house. Good morning to Martina, Renee, Rob, Tim, all my people out in YouTube land. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons. Clarice is in the house. Good morning to you. We'll see. We'll see. We do have some earnings that came out last night as well. So we'll run through all those. M Sky's in the house. Good morning to you. We'll see. Yeah, we got ARM reported as well. Q's obviously to the higher side on SPY. I got nothing. I got nothing. Maybe 600 would be and we could hit it today. It's not that far away. But being that it is a little bit of a retest gap, let's see it at open if we get a tiny pullback. That would take us into the 591.01 zone. And then I'll be looking for a bounce. I mean, again, this is now two redonkulous days in a row, especially if you're including that gap up, but all momentum to the bullish side, and earnings didn't really disappoint last night as well. So nothing to be bearish about except for accounts are too high, and that's when you get people coming in with some nerves. They get a little nervous. We got Q's also gapping up. This one finally made it to all-time highs, so it took us a while to get here. Don't call it a comeback. But otherwise, we got Q's. Retest gap again. So first spot I would look if we do pull back, look for this 505.77, essentially right around where we closed yesterday. The real spot I got is closer to a 503.36. It'd be astonishing if we open, we just go green all day, we just leave another gap open in the Q's. That would be wild. But great close yesterday, above previous pivot, above all previous VPOCs at all-time highs. It's hard to make a case to be bearish. It really is. I'd be a cautious bull though up here, especially out of the gate, unless we get some kind of pullback. Otherwise, still looking pretty darn bullish. Let's see. The first one I saw, I think, was ARM. ARM. Let me take some of those lines off. E Queen is in the house. ARM with a little. Their earnings weren't bad. I think they did beat. Yeah, they beat on earnings per share by 4 cents. They also beat on the revenue by 33 million, coming in at 4.19% higher. What I think killed them, and that's what's been hurting a lot of the chip companies. But what's killing them is their guidance. I think their guidance was essentially in line for what's expected. Once you have a completely bullish sector, you have a bullish stock, you have everything almost at all-time highs. Look out longer term for that head and shoulders. That could be something to watch. We're still pretty far away from the neckline on this, but other than that, it is a gap and go. You are opening right into a support. Market's up, but it is a retest gap, so I'm wondering if that's going to put a little pressure on it. I'm watching the level here, somewhere around 139.73. I think if we get the breakdown on that one, next spot to the downside, not too much, 137.99, but a little bit. That has already been retested, so that is also a little bit easier to break down as well. And then longer term, I'd probably be looking for some kind of a pullback. I think it's a 132.99. Might be able to reach this 131.48 if we start breaking down. And that is essentially where I think that neckline comes in, and you probably have some people looking to hold it up above that for sure. So we'll see. Other than that, it is a gap and go to the bear side. So I'd probably be leaning that way. If this can hold support to the higher side, you're looking for probably about 141.13. A really bullish retest would take us up to 143.69. So we'll see if any of that wants to hold. But again, probably don't go short out of the gate. See how that first candle closes. You do have that 100 EMA coming in. So a little bit, I think, choppy on ARM. Let's get that one higher to the list, though. LMT. Lockheed Martin. So far, it's been a decent pullback. We do have a gap and go today. Still inside candle, and you're at resistance. I don't think I would go long here. I think I would look for a retest. Maybe out of the gate, and maybe we already hit a pre-market, but I'd be looking for like 556.87 to be resistance. I think that should be maybe a little higher. 557.12. I think that should be a good resistance on it. So I'm not going to take this gap and go long, especially inside. Um, I think we have that is a decent gap up. I think momentum might start shifting a little bit bullish longer term. I would be looking for probably a full-on retest. So if you could get a little bit higher, maybe you want to play that fade on this one. But that's only going to take you down, I think, to 551.83. I think I'd be looking to get in long, somewhere around 551 and 83, 551.58, maybe something like that. You have decent risk reward. I'd throw my stop right underneath this 539.49 for a swing trade. Plenty of room higher. So if this thing does pull back, I think it's qualifying as a decent looking swing trade to the bull side of things. Keep in mind too, I do think Trump will spend money in general. I think both candidates would have, but I do think that Trump would actually spend a decent amount of money on defense. So that's gonna roll right into Lockheed Martin. So not bad. I wouldn't mind trying to take a stab at this one long, but it would have to come down a little bit lower. All right, we got GS, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs. Yeah, phenomenal day yesterday. I say all banks, JP Morgan as well, phenomenal day. All thriving off of the Trump election. Um, we're high. This is all-time highs we're sitting at. Phenomenal gap up, phenomenal close. At that gap up, yeah, we could have retraced. It was technically a retraced gap. Nobody want to take gains on this one. I would look for, I mean, you have your resistance today, somewhere around 595.84. I think if you get a 50% retracement, somewhere around 50, 618 retracement, but somewhere around probably like 582.66, 582, somewhere in that zone, you might have those bulls coming in. It's a gorgeous gap. Lots of follow through. I think you retest half that candle, and that would get you a decent setup. Your stop would be right below this one, somewhere around 564.39. So we'll see on that one, but I think it looks good. If it pulls back, you probably have some people still interested in buying it long. Everything is still, right now, at least in a bullish direction. And it does give you a good stop. If that candle breaks, maybe we don't do a full-on retest of 524, but I think you probably have a better shot at like this 539.31. But I wouldn't go short yet. Not yet. I don't want to fight the bulls on that one. All right, let's see. The other ones, MU, you guys are saying? Pretty good gap. Again, it is a retest gap. Now you have technically one, two, three bullish buying days. You might see a little pullback on this one. However, that's a really good gap. I like the location on it. You're gonna hit some resistance. I think somewhere around 114.97. Again, maybe that breaks out, and then your next stop on it takes you to about 116. We'll call it 116.25, somewhere in that range. Um, I'm gonna put this one pretty high on the list. I do like this gap that we're gapping above a lot of previous VPOCs. I don't think I want to take it bullish out of the gate, but if we get a little bit of a pullback, even maybe like a red high wave candle, something we could take a break above. I don't want to hop in too soon in the bullish direction, and then all those guys come in, they take their profits, and then we're like, man, we could have got a better spot. So I'll be patient on that one, but I think it looks good. That's not a bad looking gap whatsoever. Big volume came in on September 26th. You're still technically inside that candle. You're opening right where that candle originally opened. And then the bears came in and just kind of smacked it down. So I think if this thing really, really wants to run, anything really above this 115 zone gives it some freedom, gets it running. So a little still in shop, but that looks good. I think this one probably gets some follow through. I like it a lot. LMT we looked at Affirm, AFRM. Do they still have a good short float on them? Or is the shorts just run away? Let's see. Still got 7.5%, if that's up to date. Sometimes FinViz takes a little bit. This one you're opening again, everything just a monster bullish direction. You have earnings coming out on this one today after the bell. Maybe it beats. Maybe this thing just runs and we're sitting at all-time highs. That would be quite, well, that would be quite the gap. If we're sitting at all-time highs that open tomorrow. So never mind. I don't think this thing hits all-time highs on gap. You are still fairly low. It's kind of an interesting spot, but we did just have a nice run up into earnings today. You're opening at resistance. I would look personally for a fade on this one, unless the bulls are just going to pound through 51.37 and they're just all anticipating incredible earnings on Affirm. I don't think I would play this one unless I was playing that fade to the downside. We'll throw this one a little bit higher on the list. If you want to give it a shot into earnings, and I still don't know if this is the one I would do, and we'll. All right. I was gonna wait, but maybe we'll do it now. We got reported earnings 14 cents or negative 14 cents. They're expected minus 31, so they beat that already. Reported earnings, last quarter 659. So they have to come in a little bit higher on revenue than they reported last time, 576. And they did have a pretty good jump. So if they're able to do what they did last quarter, I think it should be a beat, and it depends on guidance. But I think if you're going to try to come in for this one for earnings, and you're looking to hold overnight, 49.28 would be a great spot to get in. I think this is probably a fade at open. People taking some gains, I would assume. Jay says, after such a big move yesterday, do you think we get lots of chop for most of the day into the FOMC? Normally I would say yes to that, but we're so bullish. We are incredibly bullish. If we're going to get the chop, I do think as soon as the bell rings out of the gate, I think we get some good volatility in both directions. A lot of it looks like it would probably be a fade at this point. But if we're going to slow down, it's probably the hour, 2 hours right before Jerome Powell. And then volatility is going to be insane for when Jerome Powell speaks and whatever he decides to do. So we're going to get a ton of just follow through in a bullish direction, or he's going to say something and the market's not going to like it, and we get a big pullback. So I think during and after Jerome Powell, we'll probably see a lot more volatility. I think out of the gate today, you're going to have definitely some emotions flying of again, markets at all-time highs, people's accounts are at all-time highs. They get emotional once they make money sometimes. And they're like, I just don't want to lose it. I don't want to lose it. But if we do see some chop, I think that's going to be probably for about an hour, 2 hours, right leading into Jerome Powell, I think. All right. DJT. Again, more of a trading vehicle, not an investment vehicle. That's not financial advice. You guys make your own decisions. But everything was kind of based on news leading to Trump, well, leading to the elections of if they think Trump is going to win. I think this is more of a gambling tool into the elections, but the problem is that we already know who the president is. So at this point, I don't know what we're gambling on. I'm not quite certain. Technicals on this one is going to always be tough. You look for support. You have a good one somewhere around 29.79 if you want to try to play this bullish. It is a retest gap from yesterday. Uh, Again, I don't know what you're gambling on. I'm not sure. We already know who the president is, or president elect is. So unless anything from if it was contested election, I think you still get some more volatility. But I like it to the downside. But here at there is a little bit of support. Again, technicals don't really matter. There is zero fundamentals. I think they had $1 million of revenue, so pretty non-significant. I think Trump owns most of the float on this one. And for him to get out of the shares, it's not very easy for him to get out of that many shares. It's not that liquid. But I'm probably going to stay away from this one. Otherwise, if it did hold up on technical basis, I wouldn't. Well, first of all, I wouldn't short here. I would say if this thing got up to like 35.84, that's probably your better short spot. If you're bullish, I would say gain somewhere around 33.69. I don't think Musk buys them out. Nah, I know they're friends and buddies and all that stuff, but there's I don't think I don't think Musk needs Truth Social. He's already got way more followers on it. It's already more established. People use it more, and it's easier for him to continue to turn X more into a Truth Social than my guess would be a lot of people on Truth Social is also on X, right? So they already have accounts. So I don't know how much, or like if he buys them out for a couple dollars and he's like, all right, I'll take it, and you just say you made a great deal or something. That's about it. But yeah, I wouldn't see I would see more of like a Rumble trying to buy him out than a Elon, and I don't think Rumble's going to do it either. You got Lyft, yep, good gap up on earnings, so they beat by 48%, 48.5% on earnings per share. They beat by 78 million to the higher side. So not bad earnings. They do have Jay's saying they have a 13% short float. Wild gap. You have one resistance for opening. If we could get above it, it's probably got some more room to squeeze. Bigger targets for today could get us to $19.32 in a dream world. We'll see if it happens. Otherwise, I think targets up into maybe this 1848 zone will even come a little lower. 1807 still gives you a pretty decent return on this one if this one wants to continue to go, but it is also a massive retest gap. I'd like to see this one pull back before I jump into it. But good earnings, not bad. Definitely some bears getting squozed. Is that a word? Squozed? If not, I'm gonna submit it to Wikipedia and it will be. So when you guys fact check me, be like, look, there it is. Pins. Pins is gapping up right into that 200 EMA, so watch for that. Um, Pretty good gap though. It is also a retest. So maybe we don't. I mean, it looks like we're almost breaking that 200 right now. Looks like we're slightly above it. What I like more than even that 200 is the fact we're above this 34.18. So we'll see if that can hold. See if there's a small pullback at least into the 34.18, and then if it wants to get some kind of hammer high wave, you can take a break of. It's definitely got some more room on it. Their earnings come out soon tonight after the bell as well. We don't stop with the earnings. All these companies. But again, 4 days of buying into the 200. You probably exceeded your target at open. I think some bulls might be hitting that sell button real quick. That's probably what I would do, but that's not good. Don't follow me. I'll be like, oh man, I'm up $5. Give me my gains. Otherwise, if you want to try to play this thing and see if you get a full on retest to 33.68, if you're trying to play the fade, 33.68 with earnings coming out, sometimes these like literally in 8 hours from now. Some of these things will act a little choppy. I think you have a decent short float on this one as well, but this is a zone you've been into before. You got that 200. Most likely, I think this one fades. But if you get the if you start holding this 34.16 zone, maybe or chop around there for a little bit, pennant pattern for first 15 minutes, something like that, and then you get that break. Build a little steam first and a base up here at least. All right, let's see what else we got. The other one was Qualcomm did report good numbers, big buyback. Um, it's not holding as much as I wanted to, and I'm in it. I do have some calls. I think they're probably up and profitable today, but I really want to see this thing above like 182.35 ish, somewhere in that zone. At open, we'll see. But it did run after hours into kind of a spot where I would have been out if I had shares as opposed to contracts. We almost had a little double top on this one. At least out of the gate, we have a little mini double bottom, but we got to get above 182.63. It's trying as I'm talking about it. We'll see what happens. But it has pulled back a decent amount. I would even say from the earnings candle or essentially where it started 171.27. That's probably about your 50% retracement. So we'll see if that bottom holds. Otherwise, the report was really good. I think they killed it. They crushed earnings, big buyback. It is still a retest gap, but you were chopping in here for months. We tried it as a swing trade. Didn't work as it came lower. I was like, I'm playing this one at the earnings. The one we did talk about was Elf, and I didn't play that one. I didn't. I had a team meeting, and then I'm still on the 3 hours of sleep from yesterday. Then I wasn't feeling good. I was like, oh no. But this got a lot of room in it if it could go just a little more. So let's see if this one wants to open. Otherwise, there's not a lot holding us back really until like 195 ish. So we'll see. But plenty of room. Finally broke out. Wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of retest first. But if you're watching that one over the next couple days, I think that could be decent as well. Maybe it could be decent for a day trade too. So we'll throw that one higher on the list. If I see any intraday candles, but nothing I'd want to set up pre-market at least. Roblox. Blow. So that one's fading a little bit. We would have hit targets on that setup if we didn't get stopped out first. I don't know. I don't know exactly when we threw those lines in. But yeah, great gap up from earnings. We just kind of hung out in the zone. I think if you're at this point, we can start breaking out this candle. It's got some room on it. So maybe some kind of entry 53.13-ish. Stop at this point. You could probably take the 49.49 for a swing, something to that effect. Otherwise, for today, and if you want to adjust this swing trade, even you are pulling back a little bit. You're gonna not be getting in with the confirmation of this is a breakout, but that's how I'd probably play this one. So watch this 590, 51.93. I think even from a swing trade perspective, you're getting a fairly good price. Day trade perspective, you get right back into essentially where we opened yesterday. All of those previous VPOCs have been filled. I would stay bullish on it. Actually, you know what? This might be one of my favorite gaps today, believe it or not. Plenty of room. We're above all that big volume. It looks like we're breaking out. Longer term, I think you can get it up back to like 63.90. I don't know about for a day trade today, but yeah, if we get a good pullback, I'm gonna watch that one very closely. I kind of like it. We will see. Centilla says SMCI 20 naked puts, paying $1 for today. Let's see. SMCI. $1 for today to Friday's expiration. Are you buying those puts or are you selling those puts? Yeah, I'm pretty deeply concerned about SMCI. I think it comes lower. Watch the $19.74 zone. If that breaks, I think there's nothing holding us back. Maybe a little bit of support, 13.34, hardly anything. And that takes us back to like an $8 stock, $8.30. So I'll be careful on that one. It does look bearish though, if you're leaning any direction on it. You have a spot down here. You might get some bulls again. Kind of interested hanging out till we get the next news. But I'm pretty sure they have an opportunity. Well, they did release financials, so I don't know if they have an opportunity to still get delisted or not. I'm not sure if the listing is still on the table. It could be. I just don't know. Big resistance on this one, somewhere around 26.11. If you could get as close as possible to a short, but not bad. You're selling. If you're selling, you got a whole day today and a whole day tomorrow, and I don't know what Jerome Powell says. I don't know if it's going to affect SMCI in any stretch of the imagination, but I think if he says something bearish, that's not going to help. If he says something good, I'm not sure that's going to help SMCI either. Not for now. But as long as you hang out above 21.41 to the higher side, you got 26.06. If you're selling them, you probably could lock some premium in if you get some kind of moves like that. But not bad. That's a good payout. That's a good premium. Z. Z. Zillow Group. What a good gap up. That might help everything else real estate wise. That might help the Redfins. This is on earnings. Yeah, so they beat by 36%. It might help the Airbnbs as well. You have 25 million, 4.61% surprise beat to the higher side. So really good earnings on this one. Really fantastic gap as well. Move over Roblox. This one might be very close to a I don't know. I'm kind of in between Roblox and Z at this point. It's kind of tough. What kind of candle did we have yesterday? Oh man, we got a red candle too, so extra trappage. No real volume holding us back. A wide open gap. I think Z has more range than Roblox, so I'm gonna have to actually rate that one a little higher. I appreciate you bringing that one to my attention. Again, we'll see. Maybe we get a little pullback first and go, but yeah, that looks pretty phenomenal. I think that one's got to be my new favorite gap today. But that is the market open, and Z is going to take off without me. So, unfortunately, I have to disconnect from YouTube. Make sure you guys hit that like and